The Netherlands has become the first European NATO ally to directly fund the purchase of American-made weapons for Ukraine, marking a pivotal shift in Western support. Dutch Defense Minister Ruben Brekelmans announced a commitment of €500 million, about $576 million, setting a new standard for transatlantic cooperation. This move is the first result of an agreement between US President Donald Trump and NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte, aiming to share the financial burden of arming Ukraine. The Netherlands' leadership signals to Moscow that European resolve is not only intact, but evolving. As a founding NATO member, the Dutch action carries weight, encouraging other European nations to follow suit. By purchasing directly from the US defense industry, the Netherlands ensures Ukraine receives advanced equipment, while strengthening NATO's economic and strategic ties. The Netherlands has already provided nearly €3 billion in military aid, but this new approach sets a precedent for future burden sharing. It's a clear message. Europe is ready to take greater responsibility for its own security. This initiative is expected to become the model for NATO's long-term strategy in supporting Ukraine. The Dutch commitment is a powerful demonstration of Europe's willingness to act decisively in defense of the continent. The Dutch funds will flow through the new NATO Prioritized Ukraine Requirements List, or PEARL, initiative. PEARL streamlines the procurement of essential military hardware for Ukraine, pooling allied contributions to buy directly from defense manufacturers, mainly in the US. This approach targets Ukraine's most urgent needs, ensuring aid is both substantial and strategic. PEARL addresses concerns in the US about bearing too much of the financial load, offering a transparent way for Europe to contribute. By leveraging American technology and production, European nations can provide high-value assets that would be difficult to supply alone. NATO Secretary General Rutte has praised the Dutch move and urged other allies to join, signaling a shift toward collective, sustainable support. PEARL is designed as a scalable, long-term framework for military assistance, moving beyond ad hoc donations. It marks a maturation of NATO's strategy, ensuring Ukraine's defense is supported for the long haul. The Dutch funding is earmarked for Patriot missile systems, critical for Ukraine's air defense. Patriots intercept aircraft, ballistic and cruise missiles, protecting cities and infrastructure from Russian attacks. President Zelensky has repeatedly called for more Patriots, as each system saves lives and preserves Ukraine's ability to function. The system's effectiveness has been proven over Ukraine, downing some of Russia's most advanced missiles. However, Patriots are expensive. A single battery can cost over $1 billion, with each missile priced in the millions. The Dutch contribution highlights the immense resources needed to defend Ukraine's skies. Prioritizing Patriots through PEARL will help shield major cities and key assets, enabling Ukraine's military to operate more effectively. This investment is vital for Ukraine's resilience and a cornerstone of the broader strategy for victory. The Dutch decision to fund US weapons for Ukraine marks a major shift in Europe's approach to security. For years, Europe relied on the US security umbrella, but Russia's invasion forced a reassessment. The Dutch initiative shows Europe's readiness to take on more responsibility and address the long-standing issue of burden sharing. By investing in US defense technology, European nations strengthen NATO's industrial and strategic bonds. This move signals to adversaries that NATO is united and reinforcing its collective defense. If other allies follow, NATO will become more balanced and resilient, with Europe playing a more assertive role. The Dutch move is a down payment on a future where Europe is less dependent on the US for immediate defense. This evolution is reshaping the transatlantic alliance for the challenges of the 21st century. The Dutch funding initiative is part of a broader Western strategy, combining military support for Ukraine with diplomatic pressure on Russia. President Trump is engaging Moscow with both threats of tariffs and ongoing negotiations, using Ukraine's strengthened defenses as leverage. The Netherlands' move has been widely praised by Western allies and Ukrainian President Zelensky, who called it vital for Europe's security. NATO Secretary General Rutte has urged more allies to contribute, building momentum for the PEARL Fund. This new burden-sharing model is emerging as a central pillar of NATO's future, aligning with US political realities and empowering Europe. The PEARL initiative modernizes NATO's crisis response, ensuring military support can keep pace with the conflict's demands. The success of this approach will test NATO's cohesion and set a precedent for future crises. The Dutch initiative is a bold step, reinforcing the alliance and helping define the future of European security.